Is United this summer more appealing to suitors, to players that they're interested to get in compared to last summer? And not just talking about having a trophy this time, not just talking about having Champions League, but there is a certain harmonious sort of atmosphere this summer compared to the last.
Well, I think there's a feeling about, with everybody, we're moving in the right direction. That's the most important thing. And then you need to act on, okay, how can we make it even better? I mean, I overheard something saying today on the radio in another talk show. Let's assume that Man United would get Declan Rice, Mason Mount and Harry Kane. Let's assume, yeah, because there's rumours there.
Yeah.
Just picture that. In this team here now, they'll be challenging.
So
with all
for the very top,
yeah.
for the very
so
top
what
of those
would
three.
the appeal be of Manchester United over other sides who are fighting for the signatures of Declan Rice, Harry Kane and everybody else? What's different? What can they offer?
This is Manchester United. You know, this is Manchester United. Look all around. Look at the history that United have got. And now you've got a manager who's got them into the Champions League, which, as René says, is progressing. Why would you wouldn't want to be part of that? This is one of, if not the biggest club in the world with the history it's got. It's got the appeal now of Champions League football. But absolutely.
Also, that's got to think, if I would be like an upcoming player, somebody like Declan Rice or Mason Mount, and I think, yes, I know about Manchester United and the history they had. I want to be part of creating that new history. I want to be back to that team that's going to win the Premier League.
Do you get
again.
the feeling Ten Hag is that manager?
I definitely do, yeah, because I think, I know him obviously for a time in Holland, and I know that he's very straight thinking, very knows exactly within the picture in his head. And obviously it's different than, you know, working in Holland or working in the Premier League. But for a manager that's been the first year in the Premier League with a club of the size of this, I think he's done a fantastic job.
I think he's perhaps the first Manchester United manager since Sir Alex Ferguson that maybe hasn't gotten as much reluctance from the fans. If you think back, okay, David Moyes, I think that's obvious. Louis van Gaal, I think there were a lot of criticisms on his tactics, the way that he plays. Same with Jose Mourinho as well, and everything that happened off the pitch. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for what greatness he's brought to the club in his early years of his tenure, early months of his tenure, there was always that question of, oh, is he good enough tactically? Is he the one to take United to the next level? And then Ralf Rangnick, and we all know what happened with that. Erik ten Hag seems to be the one manager that perhaps there aren't as many question marks about him, if that's a way to put it.
No, and I think that has to do with either or, that the playing style that one particular manager's brought here. I think that a lot of things that wasn't clicking with Van Gaal or Mourinho, and Mourinho still won trophies. Ole was a man of the club, obviously, and I think the word there was inconsistency. You know, they had some really good spells, and then suddenly again they had inconsistent spells that starting to people to question, is this really going in the right direction? And again, you know, Eric has still got some work to do, don't get me wrong, because still in the away form and still vulnerabilities in there, because other teams have shown that, and even Chelsea's shown that tonight. So there's work to be done. It's a 4-1, but it was, like you said, Scott, it wasn't a 4-1 game. But in my opinion, he understands the culture of the club, and he understands the identity of the playing style. What do we need to produce? We need to play an attacking style of football. You know, we need to entertain the crowd, and we need to bring results. It's the most difficult combination, but that's what United stands for.
I mean, what if, and you say about that radio interview, and they mention those players, again, this is Manchester United. There's every chance they could get Harry Kane. We'll have to wait and see what happens there, although they might have to bid big, even though he's only got a year left in his contract. Declan Rice, I heard him saying after one of the West Ham games, Manchester United is, I think it was after the game against United, United is the biggest club in the world.
Well, based on your West Ham allegiance, do you think he will? Do you think United is the place to suit him best?
He's flirting with United by saying that, isn't he? Definitely. Yeah. And then there's Mason Mount as well, who seems like he's not happy. I think Declan Rice would be absolutely perfect for Manchester United. I really do. And I think he showed in that performance at West Ham how good he can be for United. If he was wearing a United shirt that night, United would have won. But because he was that good in a West Ham shirt, he dragged West Ham back into it when United were the better side in the first 20 minutes. I think he would be absolutely superb here, because I think that's the, you know, René was talking about the sort of the lack of protection. He would be able to give that, but he can also go forward as well. And people say he doesn't score enough goals. I don't think he has been allowed to sort of get forward as much, or sometimes he's almost so tactical. He understands that his team needs a bit of protection. We didn't see that with the United tonight, even with Casemiro at times.
Is it a priority to get Declan Rice?
Well, he would definitely He would definitely add, you know, in quality and in strength for sure. Is it a priority? I'm sure that Eric has done his homework. I'm sure that if he has these meetings with whoever he needs to talk to about these are the players I want to bring in. You know, there will be other names, but I wouldn't be surprised if Declan is up there top of the list.
Yeah.
I'd say he's number 2. I think they need a striker, number 1.
Yeah.
And I'd say...
You mentioned Harry Kane. Is that the right profile?
Absolutely. You know, Harry Kane, he's desperate for that Premier League record, isn't he? So for the next 2 to 3 years, he's going to be absolutely spot on. And that's what United need. They're not a million miles away.
Yeah.
A top striker, a top midfielder, and maybe a top defender as well. I'll tell you, they'll be up there.